Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Inside Lion Athletics. I'm Charlie Chitwood. We're joined today, start things off by head coach Ashley Gordon. Hey, sweep! Out on the road, that was fun last weekend for you, Coach. Sorry I couldn't stick around Natchitoches on Sunday and see the win against the Demonettes, but you got the win anyway.
We did. We had a great weekend, and it was great. You know, it's always hard to get points on the road. It's always hard to travel, and obviously a long trip to Nichols on Thursday.
Right.
But we had a great week of training, and it translated to the game for both games. But Friday and Sunday were great matches.
Hey, you had a little bit of extra help in the goal this time. Jilly is getting a little break. You're going to talk some about that, but talk about the great job
our freshman goalkeeper. So Nika stepped in. I mentioned last week that Jill kind of took a knock against Corpus at the very end of the game, and so Nika finished the last few minutes against Corpus, and then a full week of training and going into this weekend. She ended up having a shutout on Friday when we beat Nichols 2-0, and then of course on Sunday when we beat Northwestern State, which was awesome. But Nika had a great weekend, and I thought it was great for her confidence, and certainly great for for her team. I mean, obviously with a freshman, she took an injury early on in the season, so for her coming in, really this was her fifth game on Sunday, and so she had a great weekend, to tell you the truth.
That's
very,
awesome.
very pleased, and certainly her teammates, I think, are very proud of her as well. So she stepped up big time.
So even with the two wins, the Lions didn't vault back into first place. However, they're mighty close.
Yeah, we are. We're sitting in second right now, and of course, Stephen F. Austin. I mean, really, it's the difference between a tie and a win, really. But right now, we have the tiebreaker on Stephen F. Austin, and so but regardless of that, regardless of all that, control the controllables, and we've got 4 games left, and so for us, it's a matter of we got to go out and we just need to win games. So I can't worry about Stephen F. or any other team. We just got to take care of business.
No scoreboard watching in the Southland Conference.
No.
Well, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. No, we do, but no, we can't. We just, like I said, we gotta have good training sessions, leading into this weekend. But last weekend I think was really special because not just Nika stepping in goal, we had the production from our other 2 freshmen field players with Ava Watts and Elena Flores. They had great games. In fact, when we played against Nichols, we were tied going, even though statistically we were all over them and completely in control of the game.
Right.
We talked about at halftime. You have to be able to shoot more. We're controlling the game, but we were getting into the final third of the field, and we're not pulling the trigger, and so we need to do that. So starting off in the second half against Nichols, Hannah Bell put us up on the board. Her goal was class, and hopefully there was a number of replays on ESPN Plus, but it was sheer class. And then minutes after that, Nichols didn't even have time to respond. Cadence Ramirez ended up scoring a goal again off of another set piece corner that Camila Montero had whipped into the box. So we finished that game 2-0, and we had great production, like I said, from our 2 field players as well. Ava Watts, mentioning her when she came into the Nichols game, she took over. And so I was really pleased to see that. And then, going into the Northwestern State game again, a team that had, a team that's also been playing well. So we knew that we were going to see a really good side of Northwestern State. Both teams have long throws, so Mindy Shoffett, obviously, you've seen her play. She can throw in the ball 40-some-odd yards. Northwestern State also has their outside back, can also throw in the ball 40 yards. So I knew Northwestern State would come down, that game specifically could come down to set pieces.
Right.
And the very first goal that we scored against Northwestern State, Mindy Shoffett had a long throw. It was helter-skelter in the box. Ava got ahead on it, and Cadence Ramirez put it in. And then of course, the second goal, actually, again, scoring back-to-back goals just put, it pinned Northwestern's ears back. And so Savannah Powell got in down the line with an assist from Elena Flores and shot a really great shot that was rebounded, and she just followed up and tucked it in. So we ended up winning that game 2-1, and like I said, really pleased with players, showing up. It was a good weekend. Good weekend.
All right, so that's 4 games in 2 or 3 weeks coming up. The next 2 weeks.
Yeah. So this weekend we've got a doubleheader. We play Friday at home against McNeese with a 6:30 kickoff, and then we play Lamar Sunday at 1:00. What's interesting is when I saw the schedule come out. Not to say that I was already looking ahead, but. Really, we're walking into this weekend playing the 2 teams that played for the conference championship last year.
Wow.
So Lamar and McNeese, of course, played, and Lamar ended up winning the tournament. So going into this weekend, I thought, okay, this is already looking ahead of knowing that this is going to be a big weekend.
Sure.
Playing against two tough opponents.
Because you may see one or both of them again in another few weeks.
Yes.
It's possible?
No, of course. And, both are below us in the standings, and we just, we continue, talking to our team about, again, control the controllables. Northwestern State was slightly ahead of us in the standings this past week, and so taking care of business there. So anybody that's been above us, we've already been able to beat, and I think that's great. But again, regardless, you got to take care of everybody if you're going to win the league.
That's right.
And so anyway, it's a big weekend. So we're excited. And by the way, it's going to be great weather.
Won't it be fun? It's pretty good today. Look, we have to get long sleeves out today.
That's right.
It's so great.
So Charlie, too, this weekend we're having a promotion for any youth player that comes out and wears their uniform Friday or Sunday gets in free. So we're looking for a huge crowd Friday and Saturday, and of course, Friday and Sunday.
Right.
And being homecoming weekend, we would love to have a lot of people there, and we welcome hecklers.
So heck yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So tell me this: with all the kiddos and the clubs, and I know you're so familiar with everything in Dallas, but how are the soccer clubs east of Dallas out towards us?
Well, actually, it's funny you mentioned that. Sulphur Springs. Boys high school coach and women's high school coach actually came out to training yesterday, and so they came out, wanted to be able to watch, and again, it was my first time to be able to meet both of them. They're planning on bringing their teams out to the games this weekend, and so we've talked about a number of their players actually, and especially of course in the women's side, and so anyway, becoming more familiar. But we've got talent out here from Sulphur Springs to East Texas, and players that are already on our radar in regards to recruiting. And so, there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent in Texas.
I will let you know when there is a soccer player in Jefferson, Texas.
Please do.
Much less whether they're any good or not, because we haven't had soccer yet.
Yeah,
we don't have it yet.
No, you'll have to pass along my number.
Okay, Coach. Now I want to know this. So you were with us on the farewell tour of the Lone Star Conference, right? Weren't you here for the last year? This is your third or fourth? No.
I'm in my third season. So so I took over the position January of 22.
Okay.
Yeah, and so obviously with that transition of fall 22 as Division I contenders was my first season.
I was just thinking, gosh, how do you compare in your recruiting, talking about we're going to go to Wichita Falls and Lawton, Oklahoma, versus we're going to go to Natchitoches and to Thibodeau.
Yeah. I didn't have to have that conversation.
Wow.
Basically, in regards to recruiting, players.
Does food recruit on your travels?
Well, I will tell you, the food in Louisiana was really good this past weekend.
It was. I'll bet it was.
We enjoyed it, and assistant coach Luca, he likes Louisiana food.
Tasted just like wins, didn't it?
Yeah. No, it was good. It was really good.
All right, Coach. Thanks for spending so much time with us today. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
And go Lions.
Go Lions.
See you in a little bit. Welcome back, everybody. We're back for some more Inside Lion Athletics. I've got Athletic Director Jim Curry here with me now. Man, what a weekend in Louisiana we had.
Wins everywhere. That was great. Great weekend, and Yeah, picked up a couple big wins, kind of due in football, and guys responded well, so excited about that. Yeah, and it kind of set the table for what is this week came quick. Let's put it that way.
Yes, it did.
We knew it was going to be a busy week, and it came a little quicker than I was maybe hoping, but exciting nonetheless.
All right, so we always talk about food.
That's
so
true.
What did you get? What was your new food in the state of Louisiana?
Oh,
did
yeah.
you have any, like,
they
meat
had
pies
I had the andouille sausage.
Andouille, yeah.
That was legit. That was like the best sausage I've ever had in my life.
Bro,
so I will give full credit to whoever prepared that. Like, that was authentic. There's no doubt about it. You could just taste the authenticity in it.
Excellent.
Outstanding. So thumbs up for Northwestern State andouille sausage.
Excellent.
There it is.
Yep. All right.
Yep.
So you've got some big meetings coming up next week, I think.
Yeah,
big
that's
meetings
right.
with all the rest of your peers in the Southland Conference.
Yeah, definitely.
What's up?
Yeah, so fall meetings for the Southland Conference on Tuesday next week. A full complement of things going on, everything from national issues, particularly relative to the House case settlement.
Right.
That got
I guess that will be plenty for y'all to talk about.
Yeah, we could probably do a 3-hour session on that one here in the near future, and maybe we will when things kind of slow down on the fields and we get a little bit more clarity. But that'd probably be worth some time talking about what that's going to do, because it's going to shake up the whole landscape of Division I athletics for sure. But so we'll talk through national issues. We're going to talk through some conference level stuff as well. Football scheduling will be a heavy topic now that we've got SFA into the league, and then UTRGV coming on board in 25.
Right.
And so and there's a lot of energy around that program that, frankly, every program in the Southland Conference is going to have to match, including us. They've got, just their season ticket deposits are through the roof.
They love football.
They love
in the
football
Valley.
down there. They do, and they're excited about it. And kudos to the folks down there. So they're gonna raise the bar a little bit and raise the expectations, and we're gonna have to match that for sure. So, but I know we're ready to do that. I know we're prepared to do that. So excited about that. And then, just a bevy of things going on there. We'll have we're in the middle of, we're going to go into a new TV agreement with the league at the end of this year, and so we'll talk through some of the dynamics there. We'll talk through some of the again broader issues related to House and what that looks like with opting in and opting out of that, rev share, roster caps, some of the things we've talked about here before.
Revenue sharing. I don't mean to interrupt you, but revenue sharing. That means like something that we would partake in, right?
Well, yeah.
I don't think we've been here before.
No one's ever been there before. But I'll say this, that I think the way I've always looked at all of this is the really what's going on is we're talking about more ways to provide direct benefits to student athletes that have a nexus to their academic endeavors or their participation in athletics. And generally speaking, I've always found that to be a good use of any type of investment, and we can put it back in our student athletes. And so that's kind of how I've kind of viewed this entire the lens that I've viewed this entire paradigm through. And I think we're going to get a little bit of a recentering here potentially across the industry with this, and particularly with a little bit more institutional oversight and control. Hopefully that kind of takes a little bit of mitigates some of the wild west that's out there. But again, a lot of uncertainty and unknowns, but we are trying to we've been talking about this with our head coaches for the better part of a year now, just what's going to come in terms of the need for adaptability, creativity, being open to change, and just understanding that I think what we've kind of come to know as the structure will look very different, but I think our core purpose doesn't change. Our core purpose is to provide a first-class student-athlete experience and to help elevate the institution through athletics and continue to provide a great fan experience to the extent we can. And so that doesn't change for us. And that's what I'm excited about. So
when you talk about the whole NCAA world, for football and the biggest schools, Pac-12's been a lot of attention lately. The Mountain West Conference has been in the news with them trying to get back to 8 members because the Pac-12 rated them, and but not too much FCS movement through that. Do you see any on the horizon, or have you heard anything? I know that nobody out of the Southland got picked, but I think Sacramento State, they really wanted in.
Oh, they wanted,
and I don't think they got their invitation.
No, I will say it'll be challenging right now in this environment to see an FCS program probably get into that FBS space. I don't think it's impossible.
Sure.
I mean, there are programs that have a significant level of investment and have and bring a lot to the table that could do it and probably do it at a very high level as well and compete at a high level. So, I think more of it is just a little bit of the uncertainty that's going on in the macro environment relative to this House case that we talked about and just trying to understand that landscape a little bit. So I think there's, what do markets like? They like certainty, right? And so when you've got as much uncertainty in our space, more than maybe ever has been, you're a little bit more cautious, I would say, in terms of some of that decision making. But I've at every school I've been at, conference realignment has been a part of that conversation. And I think really what it comes back to is the way I look at it is let's just be the best version of ourselves and be attentive to what's going on in the marketplace. And if great opportunities present themselves, then they will. But we're in a great spot right now. We're in a great league that's growing. We're growing. And so I think as long as we continue to focus on ourselves and be the best version of ourselves and continue to invest in our programs, our university, our facilities, our student athletes, then, we're going to be able to compete at a high level, and the rest of the stuff will take care of itself.
And we have andouille sausage in our geographic conference footprint. So we could be the Creole Conference. You know that?
We totally could be. There's no doubt about
it. Half of it anyway.
At least half of it,
and none of us would mind a bit.
We'll be the brisket division, and they can be the...
There you go.
There we go,
you
right?
Were thinking.
Now we're talking,
I
right?
like this guy. I knew we hired you. So what else is up? I mean, you got the meetings. We're coming to the end of soccer and volleyball.
Yeah. Fall.
Start of basketball.
It is. So we talked about that overlap period, and we're hitting it now. We're in it, and 6 games, 5 days this week. Actually, we get a little bit of a breather next week with home contests because we got so many folks on the road, but we do have volleyball at home next week. But, we're putting all the energy around basketball because that starts in 2.5 weeks. Women were actually playing one of those closed practice scrimmages against Texas Tech in Fort Worth this past weekend. Played pretty well, held their own. And I think once they realized that the other side was human too a little bit, right? So I think Coach was really, really pleased with what she saw there. And the Met will have their first one this weekend. I think Oral Roberts maybe, I think is who they got. Again, these are all like top secret squirrel type of games.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We can't tell anybody.
I can't tell anybody all about it, right? But these are really helpful. And actually our men's team hasn't had an opportunity to play in these in a couple of years just because of schedule, really some cancellations by the other squads.
Okay.
And so these are really helpful. It goes without saying, really helpful in trying to assess where you're at, where your squad is going into it. And so I know the coaches find great value in it, and they're doing a good job of testing themselves to see where they're at. So I think they're both doing a great job of preparing for week one. Obviously, the men will get off to a little bit stronger start in terms of quality of opponent than the women, but the women will catch up fast. There's no doubt about
Absolutely.
it. So excited to get them on the floor on November 4th, that Monday. Women will be home that night. Men will be on the road at Iowa. And but yeah, I'm excited the hoop season's here. And the thing about it is because of the way the schedules have shaken out, and a little bit of this is still some fallout from year one when we had to put games on the book so quick. And so our home and away cadence and when those dates fall this year is still not exactly where we want it.
Yeah.
It's going to be better in future years. I think it's a little bit of that same dynamic that we're getting on the other side of in football as well, actually.
Well, you got to do the bounce from Brownsville to Natchitoches and then back to Brownsville.
Exactly.
Last year it was New Orleans, Commerce, New Orleans.
Yeah. I'm thinking more from the non-conference side of things.
Yeah. Right.
So we got so many games in November, and then some of our men's homes games are just in a little bit of a, I wouldn't say a wonky spot, but maybe in a less than desirable spot. We've got that Saturday after Thanksgiving. We've got a Sunday after graduation in December, but the quality of the opponents are there, and so hopefully we'll still see folks get out here who need to get a little bit of break from their relatives around the holidays and need to see some other faces. So, get out a little bit. So yeah, but we've got a great slate. But again, kind of concentrated a little bit early on in November with men's and women's hoops, particularly the women's side. So, but we're getting ready for that. And, I think the thing, too, is we listened to some stakeholder feedback from last year about basketball tickets. Mm-hmm. We've reimagined that, and we've separated the tickets for one thing. We've made them both more affordable than we did in previous years, reimagined some of the things we were doing on the parking side. So really what we're trying to do is break down any type of barriers to entry for folks to get in the door. And so if anybody is, hasn't checked out what we're doing there, I would encourage them to do so because I think we've made it really accessible for folks and really kind of reimagined what we did last year that I don't think really kind of hit the mark. And kudos to our team for being adaptable and being willing to reassess that moving forward for this year. All
right. Well, it's all coming at us real fast, but I think
coming at us. I think it's here.
We like it.
Oh, we love it. You kidding me? We love it.
Stuff.
We love it. We love it. It's this is a great time of year, and we were coming off a win in football. It's homecoming week. We got homecoming concerts. We got great weather. So, if you anything you want to kind of see and touch relative to Lion Athletics, you'll have the opportunity to do it this week. Literally every team is competing this week. Every team. The basketballs are in those closed scrimmages. The golf's just wrapped up. Hey, watch out for women's golf now, too, by the way.
Are they going to be good again?
They are good again.
The guys will be good again.
And they got a chance. Guys are a lot better on the men's side, so kudos to them. And they're still getting some guys onboarded as well. Mm-hmm. But cross-country competes this week. Football, soccer, volleyball, softball. Like when I say literally every sport is competing this week, every sport's competing this week.
Don't you love it? I do.
So if you see Avi walking around with a zombie-like look on his face, just understand where that's coming from.
He's kind of busy. But Jim is too. He's been making all this stuff for Avi to do, right?
Yeah, that's
and
part
the coaches.
Of it, right? Yeah, everybody.
All right, so big game tonight. We can't talk about sports without talking about a softball game against the four-time defending national champs from Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It's Oklahoma, the University of Oklahoma, OU.
Yeah, if anybody thought this was your granddaddy's Lion Athletics, it ain't anymore with Oklahoma coming to town and then the men going to play the two-time defending national champions in men's basketball later this month or next month. No, exciting. And I'm just grateful that they agreed to come down. We've spent a lot of time out there really trying to make sure that we present a great experience for them and our fans. The response has been incredible, so thankful for everybody that has engaged with that game. And we'll have over 1,000 people out there tonight between the stands and the outfield. We've kind of removed some of the banners in the outfield to give a little bit more visibility on the sight lines for people that are out in the outfield and the SRO area. We still have some tickets available in the SRO. The bowl's sold out, been sold out for a while.
And that's like 850 in the bowl.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. And we got a few more hundred out in the outfield. So it'll be something like we haven't seen here before, particularly for softball. And, I think the only other, football games are obviously big, but I think the excitement energy around this one is a little different. And what I'm happy about is just the response from within the region. A lot of people that, have whether that's in, the west side of really just throughout the entire Northeast Texas region. I'm thinking about the Rockwalls and the Caddo Mills and the Parises and Sulphur Springs and even further than that, going out to Mount Pleasant and those areas, Tyler, the Dallas area even, people really responding and coming out to Commerce. And I think it's just, again, continuing to project the trajectory of not only the athletics department, but where the university is going as a whole and giving us an opportunity to tell our story as a university. So excited about the platform that it's been provided through this game. And literally as we were getting ready to jump on here, I got a text from a colleague of mine who works at the University of Arkansas who sent a tweet to me that was out about our game from a national media guy. And how they can catch the game on E+ tonight. So again, kudos to Avi again. And
did you tell them how did they mention about on the radio too?
He actually did.
88.9 KETR. We're taking a fall softball match and putting it on our 100,000 watt stick.
There it is.
That's going to be great.
There
fun.
it is. So between that and the broadcast itself, again, just excited to showcase the brand and. Obviously grateful for Oklahoma for agreeing to come down and see us. So hopefully we can provide them a good experience. They'll be willing to come back. If we beat them tonight, though, maybe they won't. So who knows?
There you go. All right. That's the kind of we'll take that kind of shunning.
That's exactly right.
Lions up, everybody. Big game tonight. Watch it, listen to it, and we'll see you Saturday.
Go Lions.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Inside Lion Athletics. I'm Charlie Chitwood. I'm joined now by head football coach Clint Dalzell. Everything tastes better after a win, doesn't it, Coach?
No doubt. Well, I wish I could taste stuff. Our whole team's gone through the whatever bug that's hit the whole world at this point, when the fall weather rolls in, which today's awesome weather, by the way. It was good practicing out in that. But, yeah, my taste buds are a little jacked up right now.
That's all right. You wouldn't really care after that win.
You're right.
Talk a little bit about just the atmosphere on those buses on the way home.
Those kids deserve it. I mean, they've been practicing hard, been playing hard. We've been close in a lot of football games, and coaches too. It's a relief, to get that win, and we're only 2 weeks into conference, and we can start stacking them up. Hopefully, Lamar coming this weekend. But yeah, it was great. There were a lot of mistakes still, but it's a lot easier to correct mistakes when you win. So we're excited about that and excited for the opportunity this weekend against Lamar.
Ron Peace seemed like he had a really settled, it was his smoothest game from start to finish.
It was, and we got off to the bad start right off the bat. The defense does great and just 3-and-outs them, and they punt, and we fumble it on 5-yard line, and they score on the next play. And so, it's pretty important, that next drive.
Yeah. And
we got the third down, and, Jordan Hamilton's not our really receiving back, and he's still in after the run from before. And I'm like, what's he doing out there, this and that. And we run a play we run all the time, Joe, and it probably should have got him to it right off the bat because they played man, and we kind of got a natural pick and rub there. And he didn't seem or didn't look that way because the blitz came from that direction. And he like he did in UC Davis, he fought off 2 tacklers and then had Jared underneath and threw it to our not so sure-handed Jordan. That's why I was kind of fussing that he's out there and he makes a great catch, and we drive down to score. If we don't make that play, a lot of individual great efforts there by players. Who knows what's happened? That's just kind of the nature of the game. Very similar to McNeese last year. We got off to kind of a slow start, and I think maybe our second drive, our quarterback kind of scrambled around in 3rd and long and hit, Keith Miller across there, and we drove down to score, and then we never looked back. So those you don't really think about those, when you win 42-21, but you just don't know. There's some great plays made.
You got to build. You got to have those pillars to build that 42-point day. So y'all got to sing when the roll. You got to call the roll.
There's a lot of people in that room have never sang that song, so it was a little rusty starting out, and then the vets kind of took over and pulled them through it.
There you go.
We need more practice.
A little repetition. That's right. All it takes. So you're going into this homecoming game against Lamar, and you guys are not only getting a little bit healthier, but you're getting healthier and getting bodies back available.
We are. Like you mentioned, we talked off the air, we're as healthy as we've been all year long, and that's including going into our first game. So, with the exception of a few players that just won't be back for the season, we're as healthy as you can get for the most part halfway through it. So that is exciting, and but that's how you start playing well. Putting the same group out there on there. I think that's why our defense has a lot of success. They've been really healthy, and we're able to know what each other are doing out there. There's a reason they're starting 11.
Right.
They're the better players. But if you can put both groups out there that on both sides, offense and defense, and obviously special teams too, of keeping those guys healthy, that's when you can start putting together good football games.
Outstanding. And the Lions are going to have their chance Saturday against Lamar. What about the Cardinals? What are they going to be bringing? It's been not hard from I can't stand to watch it. It's been like hard from what are they doing this week that they didn't do last week?
Right. You know what? They're really a steady team. They like to run the football. They really do. They keep the football from the other team. You know, we probably, you know, maybe are I'll say we're maybe averaging 12 possessions, 11 possessions a game. If you get 8 against them, 9 against them, you know, we did some good things. So
wow.
They really run the football. They really try to occupy the clock. So, you know, we've got to take advantage of, you know, our opportunities on offense because they're kind of a bend, don't break defense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've got to move the chains, get down there, take our points when they're there. You know, I feel a little more comfortable about our kicking game right now. We're making some PATs, and
Jackson's he's drilling them.
It's good. You know, that confidence is key. And I don't care where it's at from the players or the coaches. I've got a little more confidence in our kicking game. So, you know, we're going to take those points, and you know, and it'll be. Honestly, the first team to 20, honestly, is probably going to win that football game because they're not a high-powered offense. They're gonna grind it on you. They're gonna chunk it, you know, short and play catch and try to keep those chains moving. And you know, we finally had some big plays on offense last week. We've got to continue to have those. They got to take what they give them too. They're going to play back. They're going to let us play catch. So let's play catch.
So, what lessons do the guys learn from winning? I know the number one thing is you hope to win again. But
yeah,
they've learned a lot of hard, good lessons. Now they get to enjoy them.
It's the taste, you know, that week of prep now is not near as grinding, not near as you know what are we doing out here stuff, and you know with the weather that helps get them frisky, and they're going out there. They're young, man. They forget stuff really fast, you know. Meaning that they don't really think about too much. They're past the win. They're ready to go and get another one. So you love that about your guys.
All right, 1-1 in conference, that gets you up in the middle of the competitors for the Southland Crown. It's still in reach.
Oh, no doubt. There's, you know, if you watch and look at the games of who's played who, I mean, it's a coin toss week to week who's going to win and show up. So if we can hold our own, you know, we've got a fairly, I wouldn't say favorable schedule, but it's there for some wins in a row. But it starts this week with Lamar.
All right, and it's also the only home game you have for basically the next month.
But then we get to come home late, and hopefully we've got some wins under our belt and get on a roll.
Happy November.
There you go.
All right, Coach, thanks for taking time out this week to join us. Go get your voice back for all of that. Yeah. And go Lions, folks. We'll be back right after this. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Inside Lion Athletics. We've got Joe Morales. I've missed you a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
I didn't get to roll my R's for anybody else but you, Joe.
I miss that. I miss hearing it. Hearing it.
Love it. Hey, volleyball, you're on a tough road trip this weekend, but there's still a lot of season left, and tournament talk is not something the Lions are left out of.
No, I think, we're playing a tough road game for sure. We got Corpus Christi and UTRGV again. But we got them at home. So we're trying to get a steal off of one of those games. And I think the tournament, I tell my team we're the sleeper team. I think we're good enough to get some wins throughout this season. It's going to be a battle when you're playing the top teams, but we're playing well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not playing bad. We're playing well. So, and we haven't peaked yet. So that's a good thing. And so I think there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of volleyball left for us to play, and we're keeping our heads up and going after it.
When you're in that process and building, and you've got some progress under you, but still you're not getting quite all the W's that your team's looking for. But the task is not done this year by any means.
No, it's not. Like any game in the Southland is going to be a battle. They know they know who we're playing. They know where we're at. We've been on the road for, that stretch all the way up from Lamar all the way down to last weekend. And so, again, there's a lot of volleyball to play, and I think we're just seeing a little bit of the tougher side of the conference right now, which is expected. And so we just got to battle this weekend, and we took a set off of Corpus. They're a really good team, and I think that that's a winnable game. We got to limit the errors a little bit and what we're doing on our side of the court, and give them a battle. Like I just want to go the distance,
Sure.
And I think we're competing really well, and I think we just got to continue to do that throughout the next couple couple matches.
You know, this is a time of year when the head coach gets to be like the team psychiatrist as well. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to keep the morale up. You got to making sure that they stay on the page. I mean, you know, if you go, the last couple games have been losses, so we got on a 4-game losing streak, and you know that can mess with the psyche a little bit of a player. You know, so it's hard to put in perspective. Like, we are still good. We are still doing what we need to do, and there's a lot more there, and so we can't just go in that direction. We got to stay positive as much as possible.
Well, it's kind of like that. A lot of other coaches say, "Let's just go 1-0 today." And
you know,
then we'll go try and go 1-0 the next day too.
I heard a meme, and it's funny that you know, it's like the football coaches a lot, and I saw this where everyone like, we got to just get back to the basics. We got to get back to the basics. Well, for us, we're not leaving the basics. Like, we just got to be there the entire time, and so we got to finish it. That's our issue. We got to finish it because we're getting there. I mean, even in Corpus, we're coming out with leads. You know, we're moving up, and then we're giving them opportunity to sneak back in the game a little bit. And so, again, we just got to figure it out on our side at the end, and go from there.
Which of your younger players are really showing up for you? Maybe a little bit more than you thought they might.
You know, well, Katana, you know, had a great year last year, and she's still having a good year this year. She's still young, sophomore. I think she's the one that's going to peak at the right time when it needs to be. And then Gracie Campbell's another young one, transfer kid that we picked up that, you know, she started out the season to play the first 3 matches, and now, you know, she's either, you know, playing a lot or in the starting lineup. So those two have kind of really grasped a little bit. I also want to, you know, shout out Kylie. Kylie's a walk-on kid for us, and she came in and not having played last season at all, and then coming in, and she's taken a little bit of a role the past couple games too. So, you know, I mean, as I could tell the team, you don't know when your number's going to be called, and whether it's matchup situation or just any scenario, your number can be called. You got to be ready to go, and so I think the team's pretty good on that page a little bit, and so. We just gotta rock, and so I mean, we're dealing with a little bit of an injury right now that's kind of changed up the lineups, but we're still fighting, we're still battling.
With UT, RGV, and A&M Corpus coming up, they're such strong programs. What do you do? I mean, you got to defend against it, you know, so make sure their slams aren't scoring points.
Right.
But then you got to find a way to get some against them.
Yeah, no. And, you know, I think we're doing that. I think we're doing, you know, we handled it very well. I mean, Corpus Christi has 2 phenomenal players that we kind of focus on a little bit. And not to take anyone else lightly. We can't let anyone else beat us. But if we can minimize them, then we got to roll with the offense. And I will say this, like, offensively, we've been really good on the outside. Early on in the season, we were really good in the middle. We kind of left that a little bit, and we got to get back to that. We got to get back to Carly and Avery scoring some points a little bit more and giving them the ball a little bit more. And so that will open up a lot of things. And so we can't just be one-dimensional, and it's a learning progress for Ellie right now, especially in the 5-1. But I think there's a lot of room for people to score. There's a lot of opportunity for people to score, and we just got to divvy that up a little bit.
All right.
Be a little bit more balanced.
Okay, so let's see. The first match is
Corpus Christi
on
Thursday. That'll be tomorrow. Yep, 6:30. That's our pink out game,
right.
honoring those fighting breast cancer. Come on out. We got 50 shirts for the first 50 fans for pink out. And then Saturday, we'll wake up a little early, start the homecoming off right against UTRGV at 11 o'clock.
All right.
So come on out to that one, and then you can have fun at the tailgating and then fit right into football. So. That's the plan. Absolutely.
All right. I won't be able to make it Thursday, tomorrow. But Saturday.
I'm looking forward to you having you.
All the lines are in. We're all lines.
Yeah, absolutely. Lion Nation. Go Lions.
We'll go get them. Folks, thanks for tuning in again this week. We'll see you next time.